Master Duel just dropped what is probably their most impactful ban list ever. I just literally saw it this morning as I was opening up the game and I was absolutely blown away. I think the ban list is phenomenal, by the way. Master Duel's already kicking me out. I think the Master Duel is perfect. I hit the nail on the head. I think they did a fantastic job with this ban list, and we're going to talk about it card for card now so they can get an idea of what to expect with the upcoming entirely new format of Master Duel. So, first and foremost, we're going to be dealing with a lot of forbidden cards. We had 5 cards forbidden, which is the most I've ever banned in one time as far as I'm aware. Starting with, of course, 2 cards that absolutely needed banned. The Phantasmal Lord, Ultimate Bishbalkin, and number 86. FTK enablers, absolutely ban worthy. Nobody plays number 86 in a fashion that is in any way, shape or form healthy for the game. It is about time this card got banned. It is honestly a joke that it's been legal for as long as it has been. So I'm so glad this card is finally gone, and I have no doubt everybody watching this video is glad as well. Same for Bishbalkin. I'm sure maybe not as many people know, but this card is infamous for a wide range of FTKs because it spams out a bunch of tokens. So this card being banned is 100% necessary. These 2 needed to go. Next on the list is Block Dragon. I just recorded an Adamantipator video using this card, and I was talking in that video about how much this card needs to be banned. I'm going to need to re-record that video now because goddamn, it's finally getting banned. So play Adamantipator's while you can, because very soon it's not looking good for your boy. So Block Dragon being banned, this card was absolutely insane. Also seeing Minor play in a bunch of other decks, but none of these other decks are relevant. The only real one that was relevant then is Adamantipator's. And in Adamantipator's, it was absolutely oppressive. It enabled you to spam out Blink level 10 synchros like it was nobody's business. You got infinite extenders for your IP Masquerena plays. You could continually just summon it out, spam it, plus on the first time it was sent to the graveyard, you would search your deck for 3 monsters, man. This card was absolutely broken. It absolutely needed to go. Block Dragon also getting banned. 3 fantastic bans right off the bat, but they didn't stop there. No. They decided to finally chase the big dog, and they went after Agido and Merly. Banning both Agido and Merly. Why Agido? Who knows, but Agido is now banned. This card limited to 1 in both the TCG and OCG. This card is now only banned in Master Duel. And it makes sense. This card, again, alongside Kelbeck, which we're going to get to in a minute, Kelbeck and Agido allowing you to mill an additional 10 cards in total out of the top of your deck was absolutely disgusting in Tearlaments in particular. Also a bunch of other strategies, but the most oppressive was far and away Tearlaments. So I think with Agido brought down to 0, the bounce back potential and the combo potential of Tearlaments as a whole is definitely going to suffer, especially with Merly getting banned. Holy crap, this is not a card I saw getting banned. This is not the direction I thought they were going to go in. They're finally banning one of the main deck Tearlament monsters, and not just any one of them. They're banning the level 2. That means no Sprite Elf. That means no recurring like that. That means no Mill 3 on summon. This is a huge deal. This is huge. The Merly and Agido hits are really gonna hit Tearlaments really freaking hard, and it doesn't stop there. These are phenomenal hits, and it goes and extends even into our next monster, Kelbeck. Kelbeck being brought from 2 down to 1 now in line with what the others were originally. By the way, my green screen's still clipping because my room still needs painted, so all the lighting is bullshit. But anyway, Kelbeck is absolutely nuts as well. The exact same thing as Agido. When it's sent to the grave by a card effect, you get to basically mill 5 cards off the top of your deck, which in Tearlaments in particular was absolutely oppressive, right? That you couldn't play the game. They had infinite follow-up because they could just put everything in their fucking graveyard, and then they would just shuffle them back and recycle them, and shit was toxic, and no bueno. Can't be doing that. So Agido banned, Merly banned, Kelbeck to 1. Damn. Tearlaments, you are suffering. They're definitely still going to be good, don't get me wrong. They still have Rhinoheart, they still have Siren at 2, they still have Havness at 2, they still have their kit. Holy crap though, this is gonna hurt like a bitch. And this actually makes the Sulliek limit to 1 infinitely more painful as well. Let's go to Tearlaments for a second here. They've also already had their Sulliek put to 1, so the fact that this is already at 1 reduces their consistency even more. They really hit Tearlament hard here. I think this nerf is definitely going to be the opportunity that many other decks on the tier list have been waiting on to finally seize power and bring the game back. But you know what deck isn't going to be able to take advantage of that? Branded. Branded Fusion put to 1. We saw it coming. It's put to 1 in the OCG, which is sort of closer to what the Master Duel would follow. It's been a top tier deck for forever and a day, literally since it came out. It has been top tier, and it suffered like minor taps on the wrist here and there. I never felt Branded was super oppressive. This is almost undeserved. I don't know. I'm not like the biggest on this particular limit because I don't feel like Branded was especially broken. I haven't played Branded in quite a while though, so maybe I'm out of touch. But Branded Fusion to 1, again, is also a really good thing. Even if I don't think it's super deserved, even if I don't think the deck was very oppressive, it has been a top tier deck for so long that we need to bring the overall level of that tier list down so that new decks actually have a chance to come up and show off a little and actually show their colors and maybe even earn them a positive spotlight and a positive position on the tier list, right? Even if I don't think it's necessarily the most deserved hit, I think it's definitely still a really good hit because it's bringing that top upper echelon of Master Duel more in line with the rest of the game. Now, speaking of bringing the upper echelons back in control, we've got Sprite Jet and Swap Frog to 1. Holy shit, they are murdering Sprite. I just made a Sprite video as well. What the hell, man? That one's already recorded. I can't re-record that one. Fuck. Sprite and Sprite Jet and Swap Frog both going to 1 is going to massively hurt Sprite. This is huge, my guys. Swap Frog going to 1 almost makes Ronin Totem not even worth playing anymore. Honestly, I think a lot of people are just going to drop that. It's still decent because it can still discard like your Beaver to special summon itself. It can still discard a Nimble Angler to special summon and get Angler's effect. So I still think there's enough utility there to where some or even a lot of people are still going to play it, but it's not going to feel nearly as broken as it did. Even at 2, it didn't feel that bad. I really didn't see them putting this card to 1. But again, they needed to hit it somehow. And they also went with Sprite Jet. Sprite Jet to 1 is so big, man. Now, you've only got 3 of your original 6 main searchers. Blue is at 2 and Jet is now at 1. Sprites are struggling, man. And Sprites have already been falling in popularity. I don't think they've been falling in power. Let's not get that confused. Like, during my Sprite video I recorded, this shit is fucking disgusting. Even with the old limits, I think absolutely these hits are well deserved. This shit is nuts. Stupid powerful. I still think Sprite is, or at least was, competing for top spot in the game with Tearlaments, even though, yes, it had fallen off in popularity. I still think it was that good. It's just people had started playing around it in tournaments, but on the ranked ladder, or in more of sort of unorganized formats, Sprite was one of the best decks in the game. Top 3, guaranteed, 100%. With Tearlaments, they're sort of, I would have put them side by side. Jet and Swap Frog killing Sprite. They are struggling. They're not dead, don't get me wrong. They can still play because there's fucking infinite number of different level 2 extenders out there, so they're still going to be able to make it work. But holy crap, are they going to miss this card. Absolutely. And the last of our limits, Grass. Another card I used in my Adamantipator video. I feel like Konami is like watching me play the game and they're just like, yep, use this, quick ban it. Fuck, man. I just recorded the video. No, Grass going to 1. Makes sense. Card's disgusting. I don't feel like you should have a 2 in 60 chance of instantly winning the game. I think that's fucking ridiculous. So yeah, I think this card should be banned. I think putting it to 1 is still being more generous than you should be. There's no reason that this card should exist. It's goofy, it's silly, right? It's one of those cards. The only reason I don't like it is that I'm okay with like goofy cards existing, but whenever that goofy card auto wins you the game, if your opponent doesn't have a negate, it's dumb. It's dumb. It just is. I'm sorry, it is. But yeah, Grass going to 1, 100% justifiable, absolutely. And we actually have 3 more cards being semi-limited. We've got Extravagance. Extravagance being semi-limited. Now, why is Extravagance being semi-limited? The most prominent deck in which it's played is, in terms of popularity right now, I would say Kashtira, but in terms of power, definitely Labyrinth. And Labyrinth is freakishly strong. I think what they're afraid of is as soon as these tier nerfs, the Adamantipator nerfs, which admittedly isn't top tier right now, the tier nerfs, the Adamantipator nerfs, the Sprite nerfs, the branded nerfs, they're worried about after all of that, is Labyrinth going to take over? Possible. It's possible. Don't get me wrong. It could happen. I think Labyrinth is definitely going to be a phenomenal strategy. I think it's going to get infinitely more powerful. Oh, excuse me. Even after this, I think Extrav going to 2 doesn't really hurt the deck too much. I only ever actually played a 2 in Lab, so it's not even going to affect me at all. But Extrav to 2, little slap on the wrist. It's a warning shot, Labyrinth, right? You've been warned. You've been warned. Don't get too excited. You've been warned. So, there's that. And then we have 2 cards being brought up to 2 copies. We've got Blaster, Dragon Ruler of Infernos. I think this is really cool. I think they've realized that the Dragon Rulers are not that great. They're really not. They're pretty good, don't get me wrong. But their effects nowadays are entirely in line with what should be allowed in the metagame. They're not broken, certainly not as broken as they were once upon a time. They're still really fucking strong though, so don't get me wrong. This is gonna be, hopefully, I'm hoping Blaster finds its way onto the tier list somehow. I'm hoping Blaster enables some sort of gimmicky fucking Dragon Link strategy or some dumb shit, and it finds its way onto the tier list. I think that would be phenomenal. I would love to see a bit of Dragon Ruler representation, some OG God cards up on that list. But we'll see. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I really don't. It's played in Armed Dragons and Infernoids. Yeah. You're gonna bring Armed Dragons to tier 2, are you? Yeah, alright. See you there, buddy. But no, I hope it does. I hope it genuinely does. Think of something and the fan base comes up. I'm definitely gonna toy around with the idea, although I have different decks in mind. Our next card, of which is directly related to it, Luster Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. With the release of all the new Draco Slayer support, I guess they thought that the deck needed an extra little nudge to get people to play it. And by nudge, they nudged everybody else down a flight of fucking stairs, and they were like, oh, let's give you a little buff. There you go, little pat on the back. There you go, Draco Slayers. They literally sabotaged everybody else's starting podiums and still give them a head start. I'm building Draco Slayer as we work on it. But have you seen the number of URs in that deck? God fucking damn it, man. I'm currently waiting on someone picking up my kidney from my house right now so I can afford it. But the Draco Slayer deck is definitely super fun, and Luster going to 2 is going to help. I don't think it's like ridiculous. It's not ridiculously impactful, right? But Luster is sort of like the glue that holds the whole deck together. So having additional copies of it is definitely going to be beneficial. So yeah, again, looking forward to that. But that is the tier list. Let's bring up the full review so that we can get one last look at it. Look at that. It's just a beautiful ban list. Oh yes, they're also unlimiting 3 cards. I forgot about these. Nadir's Servant going to 3. I don't think it's going to have a massive impact on the meta, but love it. Nadir's Servant to 3. Sign me up. I think Nadir's Servant's great. I love playing Dogmatica. I played it recently on one of our streams. Dogmatica is a blast. Invoked Dogmatica might actually be able to make some kind of comeback. I think Invoked Dogmatica should all. This deck was really good once upon a time. It obviously fell off super fucking hard. As soon as Wind of Pass wasn't good enough to win you games, this deck just instantly fell off. But we'll see. With everything else's power levels being brought down, we might see the return of some invoked shenanigans. We also have Ancient Fairy Dragon being unlimited. It was stupid that this card was on the list. It was legal and nobody was playing it, and you're putting it to free as if anyone would ever have played more than one of it. I don't know what you were thinking. Its effect is a hard once per turn now as well. Like it's not that good. It's a really good card, don't get me wrong, but it's not ban worthy. So I'm glad Ancient Fairy Dragon's off the list. And lastly, we have Girsu. Finally, he went from 2 and is now allowed to 3. So just one more copy of Girsu. Orcus players are loving life. Orcus players profit. They're not profiting from the fact that Aedo and Kelbeck were put to 1. I feel like Orcus, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Orcus played these cards. I could be wrong. In fact, Why am I even guessing when I can just check? No. Okay, actually, maybe. Alright. So Tear Orchest is, yeah. Yeah, good luck with that one. Okay, so Tear Orchest, they're kind of dead. But not playing Akito or Kelbeck, actually, so I was wrong about that. Yeah, Orchest, fucking big profit. Yeah, sure, they're losing the Tearlament version of the deck. But, more than worth it. Considering the overall power level of the meta is going to plummet down to reasonable levels. I think this is the best ban list I've ever done. I don't even think it's close. I think this ban list is phenomenal. I just really wanted to put a video out on it really quickly. I'm super impressed. Very well done to Konami. Hats off. Finally banning Rongo. Finally bringing Tearlaments in line. Finally banning Bishbolkin, right? Holy crap, bringing Sprite in line, finally bringing down Sprite, oh my god. And then just to top it off, they even give Brand a little boot in the arse, they give Labyrinth a little warning shot, and they give us back cards. I love that Master Duel does this. The freaking TCG doesn't do this nearly as often as they should. Give us back cards. We just want more cards. Take them off the fucking list if they don't need to be there. But yeah, there you go. That's my thoughts on the ban list. Throw them down below, anything you want to say, you want to hop into the Discord to discuss the ban list or any sort of upcoming deck list, anything like that. I'm still putting out my videos on the decks that I recorded, even if the ban list requirements aren't entirely going to last very long. But yeah, fight me. Let's go for it. If you're new, subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed watching, join it as a member if you want, or you can even just check out some of our other videos regarding deck profiles and such if you're so inclined, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.